Can you describe your daily routine in English? What if someone asks you, "What did you do today?" Or, "What's a typical day like for you?" Would you freeze up?
If you're struggling to talk about your day in English, this video is exactly what you need. We're going to teach you everything from waking up to going to bed so you can confidently describe your daily routine.
By the end of this video, you'll have all the vocabulary, phrases, and expressions you need to talk about your day like a native speaker.
So stay with us because this lesson is going to transform the way you talk about your daily life in English. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fluent English Talk. I'm Lisa.
And I'm Alex. It's so wonderful to have you here with us today. If you're new to our channel, welcome. You've just joined thousands of English learners from around the world.
And if you're returning, welcome back. We're thrilled to see you again.
Today's lesson is super practical because we're going to teach you how to talk about your daily routine in English. This is one of the most common conversation topics.
Whether you're chatting with friends, meeting new people, or even in a job interview, people will ask you about your typical day, so you need to know how to answer confidently.
We're going to teach you vocabulary for morning, afternoon, and evening routines. We'll practice with role plays, give you natural expressions, and help you speak fluently about your day.
By the end of this video, you'll be able to describe your entire day from start to finish with confidence.
But before we jump in, if you're excited to learn how to talk about your daily routine in English, please hit that like button right now. It really helps us keep making these free lessons for you.
And don't forget to subscribe to Fluent English Talk and turn on the notification bell. We post new practical English lessons every week to help you speak naturally and confidently.
All right, let's get started with your morning routine.
Let's start with the morning. What's the first thing you do when you wake up?
Great question. Let's learn all the essential morning vocabulary. First, we have wake up. This means to stop sleeping and open your eyes.
For example, I wake up at 6:30 every morning. Notice we say wake up at a specific time.
Next, we have get up or get out of bed. This means to physically leave your bed and stand up.
For example, I usually get up at 7 a.m. or I get out of bed as soon as my alarm rings.
There's a difference between wake up and get up. You can wake up at 6:30 but get up at 7. That means you're awake but still lying in bed.
Exactly. Many people wake up and then stay in bed for a few minutes before they get up. Now let's talk about the alarm clock.
We say, "My alarm goes off." This means your alarm starts ringing or making noise.
For example, my alarm goes off at 6 a.m. every day.
And many people hit the snooze button or snooze the alarm. This means you press the button to make it stop for a few more minutes.
For example, I always hit the snooze button twice before I finally get up. Can you relate to this?
I definitely can. Now, after you get up, what do?
Most people stretch. Stretch means to extend your arms and legs to wake up your body.
For example, I stretch my arms and legs when I get out of bed.
Then, many people make their bed. This means to arrange your sheets, blankets, and pillows neatly.
For example, I always make my bed in the morning. It makes me feel organized.
Great. Now let's talk about the bathroom routine. We say go to the bathroom or use the bathroom.
Then you brush your teeth. This is essential vocabulary.
For example, I brush my teeth twice a day, in the morning and before bed.
We also say wash your face and take a shower or have a shower.
Notice we can say take a shower or have a shower. Both are correct.
For example, I take a shower every morning, or I have a shower before going to work.
Some people prefer to take a bath instead of a shower. A bath means sitting in a bathtub with water.
After your shower, you dry yourself or dry off with a towel.
Then you get dressed. This means to put on your clothes.
For example, I get dressed after I shower, or it takes me 10 minutes to get dressed.
Now let's practice. Repeat these key phrases after us. Wake up, get up, brush your teeth, take a shower, get dressed.
Perfect. Now let's use these in a real morning routine conversation.
Let's listen to Alex describe his morning routine. Pay attention to how he uses all the vocabulary we just learned.
My morning routine is pretty simple. My alarm goes off at 6:30 a.m., but I have to admit I usually hit the snooze button at least once, so I actually get up around 6:45.
So you're not a morning person.
Not really. When I finally get out of bed, I stretch a little and then make my bed. After that, I go straight to the bathroom.
What do you do in the bathroom?
First, I brush my teeth. Then I wash my face with cold water. It helps me wake up. After that, I take a quick shower.
How long does your shower take?
Usually about 10 minutes. Then I dry off, get dressed, and head to the kitchen for breakfast.
What do you usually have for breakfast?
I usually make some toast and eggs, and I always have a cup of coffee. I can't start my day without coffee.
Same here. And what time do you leave the house?
I leave around 8 a.m. to get to work on time.
That was perfect. Did you notice how Alex used all the morning vocabulary naturally?
Let's break it down. I said my alarm goes off at 6:30 a.m. This is the natural way to describe your alarm.
Then you said, I hit the snooze button at least once. This is very relatable. Many people do this.
I also said I get out of bed around 6:45. Notice I used around to show it's approximately that time, not exact.
Then you said, I go straight to the bathroom. The phrase go straight means to go directly without stopping anywhere else.
And I described my bathroom routine step by step. Brush my teeth, wash my face, take a shower, dry off, get dressed.
You also said, I can't start my day without coffee. This is a great expression to show that something is very important to you.
You could also say, I can't start my day without breakfast. I can't start my day without exercise. I can't function without my morning coffee.
Now it's your turn. Think about your morning routine. Try describing it out loud in English using the vocabulary we learned.
Great job. Maybe you said, I wake up at 7 a.m. I take a shower and get dressed. I have breakfast before I leave the house.
Perfect. Now let's move to afternoon activities.
Now let's talk about afternoon routines. This usually includes work, school, errands, and lunch.
First, let's learn work-related vocabulary. If you have a job, you go to work or head to work.
For example, I go to work at 8:30 every morning, or I head to work after breakfast.
You can also say commute to work. Commute means to travel between home and work.
For example, I commute to work by train, or my commute takes about 30 minutes.
If you work from home, you say I work from home or I work remotely.
For example, I work from home 3 days a week, or I've been working remotely since last year.
Now let's talk about lunch. We say have lunch or eat lunch.
For example, I have lunch at noon, or I usually eat lunch at my desk.
We also say take a lunch break. A break is a short period of rest.
For example, I take a lunch break from 1 to 1 p.m., or we get a 1-hour lunch break.
Some people pack lunch or bring lunch from home. This means you prepare food at home and take it with you.
For example, I pack my lunch every day to save money, or I bring lunch from home instead of buying food.
Others go out for lunch or order lunch.
For example, my coworkers and I go out for lunch on Fridays, or I usually order lunch from a nearby restaurant.
In the afternoon, you might run errands. Errands are small tasks like going to the bank, post office, or grocery store.
For example, I run errands after work, or I need to run some errands this afternoon.
You might also do the shopping or go grocery shopping.
For example, I do the shopping every Saturday, or I go grocery shopping on my way home.
Let's review these phrases. Go to work, commute, have lunch, take a break, run errands, go shopping. Pause for the audience.
Excellent. Now let's hear these phrases in a conversation.
Let's have a conversation about afternoon routines. I'll ask Alex about his typical afternoon. So Alex, after you leave the house in the morning, what does your afternoon look like?
Well, I commute to work by subway. It takes about 25 minutes. I usually listen to podcasts during my commute.
That's a good use of time. What time do you start work?
I start work at 9 a.m. My mornings at work are usually pretty busy with meetings and emails.
And what about lunch? What do you do?
I take my lunch break at 12:30. Sometimes I bring lunch from home, but other days I go out with colleagues.
Where do you usually go?
There's a nice cafe near the office. They have great sandwiches and salads. We usually go there.
Sounds nice. How long is your lunch break?
We get 1 hour, so I have time to eat and relax a bit before going back to work.
And what about after lunch? What does your afternoon look like?
The afternoon is usually focused on work projects. I have meetings, make phone calls, and work on reports. Pretty standard office work.
What time do you finish work?
I finish at 5:30. Then I head home, unless I need to run errands.
What kind of errands?
Sometimes I stop at the grocery store to pick up a few things, or I might go to the bank or pharmacy. It depends on the day.
Got it. So you're usually home by what time?
I'm usually home by 6:30 or 7 p.m. Great! Let's break down this conversation. I said, I commute to work by subway. Notice the preposition by. We use it for transportation.
You can say, I go to work by bus. I travel by train. I commute by car. I walk to work. No by here.
I also said, I usually listen to podcasts during my commute. This shows a habit during the specific time.
Then you said, I take my lunch break at 12:30. Notice we say take a break, not make a break or do a break.
I also said, sometimes I bring lunch from home, but other days I go out with colleagues.
This sentence uses sometimes and other days to show different habits. You can use this structure too.
For example, sometimes I cook dinner, but other days I order takeout. Sometimes I exercise in the morning, but other days I go to the gym after work.
You also said, I stop at the grocery store to pick up a few things. The phrase pick up means to buy or get something quickly.
For example, I need to pick up milk on my way home. Can you pick up some bread from the store?
Now let's practice. Think about your afternoon. What do you do? Try saying it out loud.
Fantastic. Maybe you said, I have lunch at 1 p.m. I work until 5 p.m. I go shopping after work.
Perfect. Now let's move to evening routines.
Evening routines are my favorite because it's time to relax. Let's learn the vocabulary.
First, when you arrive home, you get home or arrive home.
For example, I get home around 6 p.m. or I arrive home after a long day.
Then you might change clothes or change into comfortable clothes.
For example, I change into sweatpants as soon as I get home, or I change out of my work clothes immediately.
Many people prepare dinner, cook dinner, or make dinner. These all mean the same thing.
For example, I prepare dinner for my family every evening, or I usually cook dinner around 7 p.m.
Some people order food or get takeout instead of cooking.
For example, I'm too tired to cook, so I'll order food tonight. Or, let's get takeout from that Chinese restaurant.
Then you have dinner or eat dinner.
For example, we have dinner together as a family. Or, I usually eat dinner while watching TV.
After dinner, you might do the dishes or wash the dishes.
For example, I always do the dishes after dinner. Or, can you help me wash the dishes?
In the evening, people often relax, unwind, or wind down. These all mean to calm down and rest.
For example, I like to relax after a long day. Or, I unwind by reading a book.
You might watch TV, watch a show, or binge watch a series. Binge watch means to watch many episodes in a row.
For example, I watch TV for an hour before bed. Or, I'm binge watching a new series on Netflix.
Some people exercise or work out in the evening.
For example, I go to the gym in the evening. Or, I work out at home after dinner.
Others spend time with family or hang out with friends.
For example, I spend time with my family every evening. Or, I hang out with friends on weekends.
Before bed, you get ready for bed or prepare for bed.
For example, I get ready for bed around 10 p.m. Or, I prepare for bed after I finish my evening routine.
This includes brushing your teeth, washing your face, and changing into pajamas.
Finally, you go to bed. Or, go to sleep.
For example, I go to bed at 11 p.m. Or, I usually go to sleep around midnight.
Let's review. Get home, cook dinner, relax, watch TV, get ready for bed, go to sleep.
Perfect. Now let's see these in action.
Let's hear Lisa describe her evening routine.
Okay, so I usually get home around 6:30 p.m. The first thing I do is change into comfortable clothes. I can't stand wearing work clothes at home.
I totally understand that. What do you do next?
I prepare dinner. I love cooking, so I usually spend about 30 to 45 minutes making something healthy and delicious.
What kind of food do you usually cook?
I like making pasta, stir fries, or salads. It depends on my mood. Then I have dinner, usually while watching a show or listening to music.
That sounds nice and relaxing. What do you do after dinner?
I do the dishes. I hate leaving a messy kitchen. After that, I have some free time to relax.
How do you like to unwind?
Sometimes I read a book, sometimes I watch TV or scroll through social media. If I have energy, I might do some yoga or stretching.
That's a good routine. What time do you usually go to bed?
I try to get ready for bed by 10 p.m. I brush my teeth, wash my face, and then I read for a little while before I go to sleep.
What time do you fall asleep?
Usually around 10:30 or 11 p.m. I need my 8 hours of sleep.
Excellent. Let's analyze Lisa's evening routine. She said, the first thing I do is change into comfortable clothes.
The first thing I do is a great phrase to start describing your routine.
You can say, the first thing I do when I get home is take off my shoes. The first thing I do in the morning is check my phone.
I also said, I can't stand wearing work clothes at home. The phrase can't stand means you really dislike something.
For example, I can't stand waking up early. I can't stand cold weather.
I said, it depends on my mood. This means your choice changes based on how you feel.
For example, what I cook depends on my mood. What I wear depends on the weather.
I also said, I hate leaving a messy kitchen. This shows a strong dislike.
And you said, if I have energy, I might do some yoga. The word might shows possibility.
For example, I might go for a walk later. I might cook something special tonight.
Now it's your turn. Describe your evening routine out loud using the vocabulary we learned.
Great work! Maybe you said, I get home at 7 p.m. and cook dinner. I watch TV and relax in the evening. I go to bed at 10:30 p.m.
Perfect. Now let's put everything together.
Now, let's practice describing a complete day from morning to night.
I'll describe my full daily routine. Listen and notice how everything connects naturally. Let me tell you about my typical day. I wake up at 6:30 a.m. when my alarm goes off. I usually hit the snooze button once, so I actually get out of bed around 6:45. I stretch a little, make my bed, and then head to the bathroom. In the bathroom, I brush my teeth, wash my face, and take a shower. After I dry off, I get dressed and go to the kitchen for breakfast. I usually have toast, eggs, and coffee. I leave the house at 8 a.m. I commute to work by subway. It takes about 25 minutes. I start work at 9 a.m. My mornings are usually busy with meetings and emails. At 12:30, I take my lunch break. Sometimes I bring lunch from home, other times I go out with colleagues. The afternoon is focused on work projects. I finish work at 5:30 p.m. and head home. I usually get home around 6:30. The first thing I do is change into comfortable clothes. Then I cook dinner, usually something simple like pasta or chicken with vegetables. I have dinner around 7:30 while watching the news. After dinner, I do the dishes, and then I relax. I might read a book, watch TV, or go for a walk if the weather's nice. I get ready for bed around 10 p.m. I brush my teeth, wash my face, and then I read for a little while before I go to sleep. I usually go to sleep around 10:30 or 11 p.m. And that's my typical day.
That was perfect, Alex. Notice how you used transition words to connect everything smoothly.
Yes, I used words like then, after, around, usually, and sometimes to make it flow naturally.
You also used time markers like at 6:30 a.m., around 7:30, and by 10 p.m. to be specific about timing.
And I used phrases like, the first thing I do is, and I usually, to show habits and routines.
Now we want you to try. Think about your complete daily routine and describe it out loud in English.
Excellent. Remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. The important thing is to practice speaking.
Before we finish, let's review some super useful phrases for talking about routines.
To talk about frequency, use always. I always brush my teeth before bed. Usually. I usually have coffee in the morning. Often. I often go to the gym after work. Sometimes. I sometimes cook dinner at home. Rarely. I rarely stay up late. Never. I never skip breakfast.
To talk about time, use at plus specific time, at 7 a.m., at noon, at midnight. Around plus approximate time, around 8 p.m., around lunchtime. Before, before work, before dinner, before bed. After, after breakfast, after work, after I shower.
To connect actions, use then. I wake up, then I get out of bed. After that, I brush my teeth. After that, I take a shower. Next. First, I cook dinner. Next, I eat. Finally, I read for a while. Finally, I go to sleep.
To show habits, use I usually, I typically, I tend to, I normally, I generally.
These phrases will make your descriptions sound natural and fluent.
Wow, we've learned so much today. Let's do a quick recap.
For morning routines, we learned wake up, get up, alarm goes off. Brush your teeth, wash your face, take a shower. Get dressed, have breakfast.
For afternoon routines, we learned go to work, commute, have lunch, take a break, run errands, go shopping.
For evening routines, we learned get home, cook dinner, eat dinner, do the dishes, relax,
watch TV. Get ready for bed, go to sleep.
We also learned useful transition words and time expressions to connect everything smoothly.
The key is to practice. Describe your daily routine out loud every day until it becomes natural and automatic.
All right, everyone, we've reached the end of today's lesson. We hope you now feel confident talking about your daily routine in English.
Remember, practice makes perfect. Try describing your day in English every single day, even if you're just talking to yourself.
Before you go, we'd love to hear from you. Write in the comments, what time do you wake up? And what's your favorite part of your daily routine?
We read every comment and we love learning about your lives. Plus, writing in English is great practice.
If this video helped you, please give it a big thumbs up. It helps us reach more English learners like you.
And if you haven't already, subscribe to Fluent English Talk and turn on the notification bell. We post new practical English lessons every week.
Thank you so much for learning with us today. Keep practicing, and soon you'll be describing your daily routine fluently and naturally.
See you in the next video. Keep up the great work.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Keep learning.